All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're kicking off something we're calling the Goldilocks journey. It's all about that search for what's just right when it comes to figuring out who we are and, where we fit in this world.
You've probably heard this one before, right? For centuries, this single idea from René Descartes has been a cornerstone of Western thought. It basically puts you, the individual, your thoughts, your mind, right at the absolute center of the universe.
So this way of thinking really puts a ton of weight on our own personal story, what we accomplish. But is that it? Is that the whole picture? What if who we are isn't just about what's inside our own heads, but about what's happening all around us?
And this idea completely flips that script. It comes from the African philosophy of Ubuntu, and it's so powerful. It says our identity, our humanity even, isn't something we just find by ourselves. Nope. It's built through our connections, our relationships with everyone else.
Okay, so for our first stop on this Goldilocks journey, we're heading to Japan. We're going to explore this really core cultural idea called wa, the way of harmony.
So what is wa? Well, it's all about keeping the peace and harmony within a group. It's like the social glue of Japanese society, really. It's this idea that for everyone to get along, the community's needs have to come before what any one person wants.
And this old Japanese proverb, it just nails it. The nail that sticks out gets hammered down. It perfectly captures that social pressure. If you stand out too much, you're seen as rocking the boat, disrupting the group's harmony. So fitting in is really encouraged for the good of everyone.
So you can see, wa is kind of a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it creates these incredibly strong communities and a real sense of shared responsibility. I mean, the teamwork can be amazing. But there's a flip side. That same pressure can kind of crush individuality, cause a lot of hidden stress, and make people afraid to take risks.
All right, next up, let's see how this whole idea of balance plays out somewhere else. We're moving on to the Chinese philosophy of Zhongyong, which is all about finding the mean, or the middle way.
Zhongyong is a huge deal in Confucian philosophy. The main idea is that the best way to live is to find that perfect balance and just avoid extremes. We're not talking about being average here. It's about finding that sweet spot, that just right middle ground, no matter what's going on. Yeah, this saying really gets to the heart of it all. Going too far is as bad as falling short. It doesn't matter if we're talking about our actions, our feelings, whatever. The goal is always to find that equilibrium, Not too much, not too little.
But here's where it gets really interesting, kind of paradoxical. What happens when trying to be moderate becomes an extreme in itself? Like, can you go too far trying not to go too far? It's a bit of a head-scratcher.
Well, it turns out you can. Researchers have actually found that Zhongyong has two sides. There's positive Zhongyong, which is all about thinking big picture, bringing different ideas together and sparking creativity. But then there's negative Zhongyong. This happens when you're too cautious, and it can lead to bad compromises, dodging conflicts you really need to have, and, well, just ending up with something mediocre.
So this whole search for balance, it's definitely not just an Asian thing. You start looking around, and you see these ideas popping up all over the globe. It really feels like a universal human quest.
Take Ubuntu in sub-Saharan Africa, for example. This philosophy teaches that we become a person through other people. It's a worldview built on empathy, on community. It really brings that I am because we are idea to life, and it shapes everything, from family to politics.
And if we hop over to Sweden, we find Lagom. It's this fantastic word that basically means just the right amount. Not too much, not too little. It's not about having less, it's about having enough. Finding that sustainable, perfect balance in everything from your work life to how you decorate your house.
And the Swedish proverb, lagom är bäst, says it all. The right amount is best. It's this deep cultural belief that enough isn't just okay, it's actually the ideal. It's their version of a little goes a long way.
Okay, so we've been all over the world exploring these different ways of thinking. What have we learned? What's the just right takeaway from this whole journey?
Well, a few common threads definitely start to stand out, right? In all of these philosophies, who you are is tied to the group. Harmony and balance are huge virtues. Moderation is key to avoiding problems. And there's this really powerful idea that we're stronger together, through community and a sense of shared responsibility.
Now look, this is just one piece of the Goldilocks journey.
Individualism has its good points, for sure, but these other philosophies offer some really powerful, time-tested alternatives. They're a great reminder that maybe fulfillment isn't always about standing out, but about fitting in and belonging together.
So, as we wrap this up, the big question is for you. In a world that's always pulling us to one extreme or another, what does your just right path look like? It's something to think about. And definitely keep an eye out for the next part of our Goldilocks Journey series. Thanks for joining us.